Drake, Trent Dilfer.
Yeah. Silent Hill, TDS, what's up? Yeah, come on. I.O.W. Sports Network, late night edition. Let's go. Come on.
We about to raise the bar. Wild card mark. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card mark. We about to raise the bar. Wild card mark. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card mark. Hey. L Boogie with the hot flame, ashtray full of top names, little tree for your membrane. This the 9-hour time frame. I just snatched up a 6-pack, got my hands on a lid pack, whipping up a little batch of snacks. Yeah, man, I think I'm all set. Late night, can't sleep, go ahead and just tap in. Better grab you a cold one, and we about to get some laps in. Wild card on the microphone, he'll hit you with a couple flurries. Y'all need to just strap in for some entertainment sports commentary. We about to raise the bar. Wild card bar. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card bar. We about to raise the bar. Wild card bar.
Yeah, what's good? What's good, people? What's good? Hey, your man Wild Card Mar here. Hey, it's Randy Rabbit here. It's Taco Tuesday here. Yeah. Hey, I know what it is. Hey, man, a lot to talk about. Yes, we're going to talk a lot of NFL topics. We got a Super Bowl matchup. There's a 6-time Super Bowl winning head coach. Can't get his first ballot Hall of Fame. We'll talk about that. Obviously, the coaching carousel, they keep on spinning and spinning. We'll talk about that. But my man's feeling real dangerous, man. How you doing, Randy? What's good, bro? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I was feeling out of pocket today, and so I thought I would start with some heat, start with some controversy.
Hey, the name is crazy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Name is says it all for me. You had me right there. My man said Drake, Trent Dilfer, May.
And can you even disagree with the notion? You saw what I saw. You saw what the country saw.
Hey, look, man. You know what? Let's start right there. Let's start with the obviously the AFC Championship game that happened first. Patriots win 10-7 over the Broncos. Just give me kind of your initial thoughts and break down the game, and obviously what you saw, and obviously with the name choice that you chosen today. I'm pretty sure you got some very colorful takes on this one.
So, what I saw on Sunday, and it's the same thing that we've been seeing. We've been seeing the opposing team's offense be held to historically bad performances. Largely not even the defense doing their job. To give the Patriots credit, their defense did their job, but they did their job against, in the first round of the playoffs, a third-string offensive line. Then they did their job against the worst healthy offensive line in the NFL, and C.J. Stroud having a meltdown. And he had been playing bad most of the year, but even uncharacteristically bad for him. And then they get Jarrett Stidham, a guy who has started 4 NFL games, none of which in the past 2 years. And honestly, out the gate, Jarrett Stidham looked kind of okay. He had used his legs a bit. He had some completions. He honestly had a lot of dropped passes. His stats look worse than they probably should have because of that pretty ass Broncos receiving group with Pro Bowler Cortland Sutton on it. Jarrett Stidham in the first half had like a serviceable game, and we'll get to how the first half ended the way that it did, but it didn't lead to anything. And then the really controversial Sean Payton decision
Oh my gosh.
to
Yeah.
not kick it. And what I'll say to that, because I've seen a lot of people shitting on it, and I think that's fair, especially considering the result. And I also, especially considering, look, you have a backup quarterback. It's going to be a defensive heavy game. All the Patriots games have been, all the Broncos games have been.
Very defensive heavy game. I mean, I think anybody saw that coming. I mean,
Right.
you'd be an idiot think it was going to be a high scoring game.
Right, exactly. So, like, I can understand everybody being like, Sean, you should have just taken the points. And as it turned out, they should have. I don't necessarily hate the process of you're already there. It's 1 yard that you need. And Stidham had been playing pretty well up until that point. I would have done a QB draw. I think that doing the pass play was what was the mistake. But I can understand the process around it, but it didn't work. So it ended up being 10-7. The second half of the game was snowed the fuck out. So everyone was playing like shit. But if you honestly, in the first half, before it started getting really bad, Stidham was playing better than May was. That's how bad that was. That's how bad May was. And May's stat line, if you look at it, he did not play well. He played badly. Again, he had 86 yards. He had the only touchdown that he had was one that he was set up with off of what should have been intentional grounding, but was called a fumble. And he was given the ball already in the red zone. That was the one touchdown that Drake May had. Otherwise, he just led his team to a field goal. If it wasn't for that, if Stidham had held onto the ball in that moment, or Sean Payton had kicked the ball and it worked, although considering how all the kicks went in that game, that's not a guarantee.
No.
Drake May doesn't win this game. So his path to the Super Bowl has been the easiest schedule of the 21st century.
He's still the 21st century.
It is the 21st century. Then a third string offensive line with an offense held to 3 points. Then a CJ Stroud meltdown game behind the worst healthy offensive line. And then Jared Stidham in a snowstorm. That's his path to the Super Bowl. And I think we really do have to put that in context. But I mean, if again, like I pointed out last week, if you look at Tom Brady's career and you take off the mythology glasses, that was not an uncommon thing for Tom Brady to benefit from freak occurrences. You know, people remember the tuck rule. People remember not running the ball. People remember, I'm sure you especially remember, and when Tom Brady wasn't on the Patriots anymore, Patrick Mahomes setting a record for them receiving the most pressures in a Super Bowl ever against his defense when he was pressured only 4 times. Yeah, like just freak occurrences outside of his control that he's getting active credit for, and I think it's a Patriots thing that I really hope we don't end up having to deal with for the next 20 years.
I said it's a Patriots thing. I hope we don't have to deal with it.
Seahawks got to remember to run the ball this time.
Oh my goodness.
Run the ball. Don't do that shit again.
Run the ball. Run the ball. No. Look, man. You're not wrong. You're not wrong about Drake May.
Yeah, I just want to add one more point. They set a record for the least points in a Super Bowl run in this run, which I mean, I don't know what more proof you need than that. But go ahead.
Man, you're not wrong about Drake May. All right, he did not play particularly well, and not just this game. We're talking about the whole playoffs. If we're being quite honest, if we're keeping it a buck. All right. And I talked about it earlier. I will, pitch you some bail because we got to be honest about in the context of the defenses that he's going up against. Chargers, good defense. Is it elite? Probably not, but it's solid.
Top 5. It was top 5 in scoring.
It's solid. Who else?
Texans, who have arguably the best defense.
Yeah, I mean, that needs to be said about how good they are, right? They just went up against Broncos defense, not too far off from the Texans. I still would favor the Texans defense, but they're not far, right? They're not trash. They're not even close to it, and you saw what they did. So now take those 3 defenses, and okay, well, what are they about to go up against in the Super Bowl? And that's
another elite defense, yeah.
So I mean, if we're calling it a buck is a buck, and we'll kind of talk about it later, but I just give you a preview on how I'm feeling about this Super Bowl. I mean, I'm not feeling too good for Drake May, because he already shown that he struggles against elite defenses. And granted, but my main point about that is that also when you face elite defenses, if you're that guy, you are the reason why you take down elite defenses.
No, it's true. Like, yeah, he won, because that's always the excuse. Like, well, he was playing against elite defenses. Yeah, and they played like it against him.
Oh yeah,
he just got lucky that all of those teams' offenses didn't show up.
Oh my goodness, man, you talking about to the point that I mean, and what mystified me about the Broncos and getting to their point, I think this was the worst coaching job I've ever seen from Sean Payton.
Okay.
And he pulled it at the wrong time. He pulled it in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
You make some great points about the decision to go forward on 4th down. My take is take the points, because if you look at the advantage of your defense versus their offense, I would run with my Denver defense over Patriots offense 10 times out of 10. They take the points.
Yeah. No, and I understand that. I understand the logic for sure. And
they would have been
ended up working out.
Randy, they'd have been up 10-0.
Yeah.
Right. More than likely, after you kick the kickoff, your defense has been controlling the line of scrimmage, and they were getting to Drake May with 4.
Mm-hmm.
And if
it took 5 sacks again.
Yeah. And if we're being honest, the only really damage that the Denver Broncos defense gave up was the scrambles from Drake May. Because they couldn't get the running game started. Obviously, the passing game was non-existent. The offense was dead. And that's why I'm saying, I'm looking at Sean Payton. I'm like, I get it. Yeah, Bo Nix, your starter wasn't there. Scores 10-7, pretty much the whole game, because no kicker wanted to make field goals. No offense can really get anything going. And if we're keeping it a buck, that lateral intentional ground and turn fumble is literally the only break that gave it for New England. If they don't get that, I don't think we're having this conversation of them even being going to Santa Clara. No. Or at least we're in overtime. And
they would have had 3 points if it wasn't for that.
Yeah.
And so they still would have lost. It would have been 7-3 if he had just held onto the ball and didn't decide to try to throw it away. Like, just take the sack at that point. Like, that's okay. Or throw it away better than he did. Like, it was very obvious he was trying to throw it away. I don't know why they flipped it back to a fumble.
Or just take the sack, because in this type of game, you're better off taking the sack instead of actually having a turnover.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally.
Yep.
Because that's how the game turned out to be. And to be fair, I think that's how a lot of people kind of saw it. This was going to be who make the first mistake, and who capitalizes off of it, and because it wasn't going to be a lot of scoring point blank period. So,
right. And just because I've heard some people make comparisons to this, because I've heard Drake May's defenders, the Drake May apologists who were previous Tom Brady apologists, I have heard them point out, well, you know who is third in least points scored in a playoff run? The 2007 Giants. And the problem is with that, the Giants, unlike the Patriots, had all of their games away because they were a wild card. They had to go against Brett Favre's Packers. They had to go against the elite Buccaneers defense and the elite Ravens defense. And then they stopped what would have otherwise been undefeated Patriots with the consensus GOAT at quarterback. So the comparison, there really hasn't been anything quite like this Patriots run in that way, of just the absolutely insane lucky breaks. But we'll see where it goes in the Super Bowl, because the Seahawks should have both sides of the ball working, and that's been the thing that would differentiate them from everybody else the Patriots have gone against so far.
Drake May's going to have to play out of his best football to win the Super Bowl. I'm just going to say that right now. Obviously, I just think the way that the Rams are coming in with this mojo, because that was I'm sorry, not the Rams, the Seahawks. That was a good Rams team that they just defeated for a third game. They've seen each other 3 times this season. All right, and it's hard to get 2 victories over the same opponent 3 times in one season. That's hard. So that was something that was dope to see. But as we flip it to the Rams and Seahawks game, thank God that matchup happened, because I'll be honest with you, Randy, I had fell asleep on the AFC Championship game, and it was so bad. It was so bad offensively that I literally have the NFL app, and they got the condensed version of the games, and it was condensed to 38 minutes. I fell asleep on that, and then I had to fuck around and watch it for like the 3rd time before I actually stayed up and watched the whole damn thing all the way through.
This is a bad game.
It was bad. It was so offensively just putrid that it was just so dreadful to watch, and it was just and kudos to the defenses. Sure, they showed up. If you love defense, this was your type of game. But if you were looking for some offensive explosion or excitement, this was not it for you.
And also, before everyone points out, like, what do you expect Drake May to do? It's snowing. Like, that's not, that can't reflect how he plays. Well, first of all, he wasn't good in either of the other 2 playoff games. But also, second, do people think that snow only affects one person on the field? As if the defenses weren't also playing in the snow? Like, I don't understand that reasoning. Like, it's more defense heavy because it's snowing. Like, they're slipping on snow too. Like, everyone's playing worse, right? Like, it's an entirely even handicap.
It's crazy, bro. I'm like, y'all do know that, and that's why for me, that's what really kind of bothered me with Sean Payton's game plan. Because like you said, he came out with Stidham and tried to make it seem like, oh, I'm not worried about Stidham. See, look, we're going to go straight down the field. And they did. But then he went away from opening up the playbook as if he said, I'm just going to open up the playbook to make people feel like I trust Drake or Jarrett Stidham. And then, after that, I'm going to close this book up because I don't want no mistakes. I don't want to cost me the AFC Championship game. I thought he coached his way out of an AFC Championship crown, my opinion. But that's that game. Let's talk about the Rams Seahawks, because he said, what grade do you give Drake May from this playoff run? Oh, it was an F. If you're talking about all 3 games, he didn't play good.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to give him a D just because he won, then I guess you could say that. But like, if you're just judging, would his play have worked against an even serviceable offense? No, he would have lost any of those 3 games if any of the opposing offenses just didn't melt down entirely. So, I mean, D simply because he won, but that's not anything. And it's certainly not going to be enough for the Seahawks team.
No. I mean, me personally, I thought he played pretty piss poor. And if he didn't have that, obviously defensive minded Mike Vrabel and very good defensive Patriots team, we're having a different conversation right now, Bucky.
Right. And right now, and we did also have this conversation about Josh Allen and the way that the media seems to really protect him from criticism. We talked about that last week, that it's everyone else's fault but his, blah blah blah. I mean, I do remember from week 1 we talked about the quick pass to James Cook that he made a big play out of, and it was just like, that's all Josh Allen. And then every time they lose, it's like, oh, he doesn't have any help, all of that. Drake May gets very similar treatment. Drake, he can do no wrong, and if you criticize him for how he individually played, the response is always like, well, but he won. So they do really like to choose their favorites, and Drake May has absolutely become a favorite of theirs.
Well, obviously I love a winner. All right, there's no problem with being a winner. But at some point in time, like, you got to put your weight up to, like, why did you win? Like, was it because of you, or was it because of in spite of you? At some point, you got to start. Your team victories have to be because of you. Like, if you're just being a passenger, like you said, I can get a Trent Dilfer for that shit.
Yeah. No, it's true. And we had the same conversation about Jalen Hurts last year, and it was true with him too. But I don't know if you notice, the narrative around Jalen Hurts has always been that he's just a passenger. But even though Drake May has been worse than Jalen Hurts was last year, and I certainly don't want to be a Jalen Hurts or an Eagles defender right now, but Drake May has been worse than Jalen Hurts was last year, while Jalen Hurts was taking those justified passenger narratives. Drake May hasn't been. Drake May hasn't been given that passenger narrative, even though it's true. Why is that? What's the difference there? I don't get it. I don't see it. I mean, I get it. Drake May wasn't a passenger in the regular season. If you want to say that's the reason why, then I can understand that. But
he was far from a passenger in the regular season, because they were talking about putting this man in the MVP conversation.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the awards in this show too. We'll talk about everything with that.
I mean, that's MVP conversation in the regular season. Sure do look different when we got to put them pads on in that old playoff time.
Mm-hmm. Which is again why the voting should end before wild card weekend. But we'll see how much everything gets affected by the playoffs.
Boy, they between the damn how they come up with all pros and Pro Bowls and
the Pro Bowl announcement we got yesterday too.
Oh my! No, we definitely got to talk about that, because obviously we've been pro Shedeur Sanders pretty much throughout the whole season, but this situation, I did not like what the NFL did on this one, but I understand it. We'll talk about that in a second. But
sure.
Rams Seahawks. So you saying if Bo Nix was playing, New England wouldn't have won? If Bo Nix had played, I think you still get almost a similar offensive production.
Think so?
Bo Nix,
he put up 33 against the Bills.
I get what you're saying. What I'm saying is Bo Nix is obviously better than Jarrett Stidham. Yes. But I think Bo Nix still would have struggled against that Patriots defense in that weather. And I think Vrabel was still been good enough to come up with a game plan to slow Bo Nix down. I'm not saying that Stidham is better. No, I'm not saying that. So let me clean that up. All right, let me clean it up a little bit.
Sure.
I will say Bo Nix is obviously better than Stidham. He's the starter. He got drafted in the first round for a reason. Stidham's whatever, 4th, 5th, 6th. I don't give a damn what kind of round he is. He's
had 4 NFL games.
Yeah. So I'm not. I would never come up here and say that. Oh, yeah, Jarrett Stidham definitely need to play over Bo Nix. No, what I'm saying is Bo Nix. If you look at his body of work this whole season, has been such a mixed bag that he gives you moments of greatness and then he gives you moments of backup quarterback play. So it's like if he's in that situation against that defense with that weather, I don't know if we get elite Bo Nix, because I've seen elite Bo Nix this year. I've also seen garbage, trash, indecisive, bad decision Bo Nix.
Also passenger Bo Nix. Yeah.
Passenger Bo Nix. I've seen it all this whole season. So that's why I'm saying I don't think, yes, there is a slight difference or a better chance to win probability if you're doing the numbers on it, doing the statistics on it, cool. But what I'm saying is at the end of the day, Bo Nix would have struggled in that weather against that defense. He would have.
I think he would have struggled too. I will push back only in the sense that I think that the increase of production you get from him, even if it's marginal, should have been enough to win this game.
Oh, yeah.
Bo Nix has shown that he does have that 4th quarter clutch gene, which he unfortunately put on my Giants, and he put on the Bills in the divisional round. I think that if you get that out of him, you need one more field goal to bring it into overtime, right? So can he get one more drive that leads to a field goal? Can he get one more touch? If he gets one more touchdown drive, the game's over. Mm-hmm. I think that Bo Nix could have made the difference there.
I hear you.
Yeah, and I also do think that as good as the Patriots defense has been, I think the fact that they went against such weak competition in the regular season and in the playoffs does also skew their defensive numbers a bit. Not that they're a bad defense. They're not. They're a good defense. But I think given the jobs they've had to do, their turnover numbers look really good. Their pass rushing numbers look really good. Their sack numbers look good. And against a better offense, would they have looked that good? I think there's a question.
Oh no, I can rock with you on that. I will definitely rock with your take on the fact that if we're facing actually more competent offense, I think maybe even I might be reaching a little bit for this one, but the way that Trevor Lawrence was, minus the bad game he had against Buffalo, the way that he was coming in, he might have gave them some trouble.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Just a competent offense, really could have made a difference in any of these.
Yeah, without a doubt. So I'm definitely with you on that. So I don't know if this, if they were. Justin Herbert with
just his normal O-line. If even just Joe Walt was there.
If Justin Herbert has 2 tackles, I think we're having a different conversation. If CJ Stroud was a competent quarterback, wasn't on his regression, I think we're having a conversation.
With a better O-line, or even just the 20th best O-line and CJ Stroud not melting down might have been enough.
Yeah, give him it over the Pack O-line and CJ Stroud just don't F it up. Hey, we're having a different conversation. No disrespect to Stidham. If Bo Nix gives the Broncos obviously a better chance to win. So Patriots I give the defense their credit because they did their job throughout the whole postseason. So I'm not going to knock them. But they got a tough task because the team that won that NFC Championship game, and thank you Jesus for the Rams and the Seahawks for giving us another great game. third time that they matched up.
Mhm.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful to watch. Definitely.
Fantastic game.
Oh my God! Especially if he had to go through that whole fucking piss end of a AFC Championship game. That dreadful football. So the moment you go to that, you're like, thank you. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead, talk about it, man.
So this was it was a shootout, but it wasn't a bad defense shootout. It was a good offense shootout. Like, you see both sides of the ball for both teams really did do their job for the most part, and we'll talk about what side for the Rams didn't do their job. But Stafford and Darnold really were throwing haymakers back and forth. Puka and JSN, two offensive player of the year candidates, both having awesome games. JSN with that beautiful one-handed catch to run to the sideline. It was Matt Stafford did more than Drake May did in any of his playoff games just through the first 3 quarters. He was just throwing absolute bombs all over the field. And the question still has remained for a while, and it's funny how it's ended up, but the question's always been, can Sam Darnold do this in big games? He proved that he can be a good quarterback. He proved that he can be a good quarterback outside of the system that made him a good quarterback. He has proved that he can play well in big games against mid competition. Can he play a really good game against a really good defense? And he proved, yes, he can. And he did that. The Rams have one of the best defenses in the NFL. And they weren't doing like just a ton of Kenneth Walker like they did against the 49ers. They really did need Darnold to step up and make some passes. And he did. And he didn't really make significant mistakes or anything. Like, he just had a really good game against who I think should be the MVP, also having an MVP caliber game.
Yeah.
And they both balled out. Tyreek Woolen almost fucked it up for the Seahawks. And man, if they had lost, the beating he would have gotten in the locker room, I'm talking socks full of cold butter. Just fucking,
hey, bro, that's hey, dog.
With that taunting, which is also bullshit, right? Like, I hate that the refs were willing to have this game get swung because he talked shit to the sideline. Like, this is football. Like, stop being bitches. But just stop being bitches. But Woolen
right.
also,
you're right.
Knowing people are going to be bitches, you got to hold it in.
No, you're 100% right. I just think the NFL is the acronym, not fun league. They come up with stuff that make it seem like they want to have fun and get the ratings. They only just want to do it to just pretty much snag some people for some quick ratings. But they got them. They ran by a whole bunch of old white men. All right.
Yep.
All right. Let's call a spade a spade. None of them, and they always put, the purity of the game, for the love of the game, old school.
Yeah. Yeah, they want everyone to be like Barry Sanders and just hand the ball to the ref.
Yeah. No, they can't stand the primetime Deion Sanders. So
yeah, no, for real. They ain't bees in the trap. They ain't. So on a 4th and 12 too, no less. Like, that very easily could have decided the game entirely. But thankfully for Seattle, it didn't. Thankfully for Tyreek Woolen's ass, it didn't.
That'd have been. Ooh.
And what really decided it more than anything is the Rams special teams. That muff punt that set up the Seahawks touchdown there. The Rams probably win this game if not for that. That's how close, that's how razor thin this game was. And they got to get their special teams in order. That cannot happen. That you're just bouncing off your chest going into the ground just for a Seahawks player to pick up right there.
Randy, you know what really killed me about that muff punt? He was falling down.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Get away from the damn football. You're falling down, sir.
Yes.
get away from the football. Like, don't even put your look. I know it's kind of tough to kind of maneuver your body out of a way while you're falling down, but you better figure it out because you just cost me a trip to the Super Bowl, bro. You better figure it out. You can't even try to even field that punt, falling down, going backwards, that deep into your own territory, knowing that the probability or the chances of something bad happening just went up the moment you started backpedaling.
Yep.
They went up higher the moment you was falling down. And I'm just like, this is a whole, and they were having problems with special teams coming into the game.
Yep.
And it reared his ugly head in the game. And I'm with you. I think that cost him the game. Not only did the muff punt cost him the game, I'm not too annoyed with Sean McVay's decision to go on at fourth down. I understand it. A couple of, I guess, clock management issues from Sean down the stretch that was kind of questionable. That I would probably like, what were you doing, costing the timeouts and time on the clock? I was kind of like, you got to be better coaching awareness on that one. But yeah, that muff punt really kind of did them in because I was under the impression that once that muff punt happened and they had a short field, they were playing from the behind ever since then because they kept swapping points or points back and forth. And I know you touched the ball last, but you didn't get it in ideal situations. No timeouts, very little time left on the clock. And as good as Matthew Stafford is, I don't think he's 13 seconds Mahomes good. But
no, I mean he did what he could have done in that moment to try to get them back. It's a shame that Puka couldn't get to the sideline for them. Because that absolute dart that he threw to Puka, and no shade at Puka. Puka had a great game, and that was just really good coverage on him. Keeps him in bounds. Clock runs. That's the game.
Yeah. But man, that was football right there. That was very, I don't want to say poetic, but it was beautiful to watch, especially if you just had to watch that damn, dreadful of a crap that AFC Championship game was. So that was refreshing to see, for sure, with the NFC Championship game. And I think you hit it right on the head, especially when it comes to Sam Darnold. He definitely answered the call of what we all been asking for him as football fans. It's oh man, it looks good. Last year with the double-digit wins, you did it again this year on the regular season. All right, but we just need that last, check mark from you, and that was it right there for me.
Yeah, and as a former Seahawks quarterback said, they wrote him off and he ain't wrote back.
He wrote back. Now, normally I get it. You say, yes, the job's not finished. But what I'm saying is, he won last week. That victory over San Francisco, he was a passenger to that. So
they didn't need him to do anything. He was taking apart scraps of an injured team. A team that had barely deserved to be there in the first place.
Yeah. So, and like I said, I'm not trying to discredit him, but I mean, come on, as football fans, I think we understand that, like, bro, your contribution to this dub was pretty limited.
Yeah, right. And like the regular season was a fairly mixed bag because he started off the season about as good as anybody in the NFL at a 70-something completion percentage. And then he had a couple of weird meltdown games where he would just throw like 3 or 4 turnovers in the game.
Yeah, and came back and you were like, yo, what the
And then the end of the season, he got his shit back together, and then he had that game in overtime against the Rams where he proved that he could beat the Rams and he could be the reason why they won, and he was. And then so like he's had like a bit of a mixed bag, but mostly good this season. And everyone's talking about it because it is incredibly funny. Of the 2018 quarterback class. Guess who's the first quarterback to make a Super Bowl?
I'm gonna be him.
Who would have thought? MVP Josh Allen, 2-time MVP Lamar Jackson, first overall pick Baker Mayfield. Sam Darnold is the first one. And granted, he didn't have to deal with playoff Mahomes Chiefs like the Bills and Ravens did, but also this Rams team was like the best team in the NFL, and they beat them. It was the most well-rounded team with the MVP frontrunner, and they beat them. So it's not like they got to sidestep the serious competition. They went through it and they got there.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And that's what really got me was the fact that Sam Darnold literally, like you said, defeated a Rams team, like you said, with probably the MVP in Matthew Stafford. I mean, me personally, I would give him the MVP.
Yeah.
And he had a great game. There's no way that I would have ever thought, if you just looked at the stat line, that Matthew Stafford has 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and they lose the game. I would have never in my wildest imagination of football would ever thought that.
Yeah, it's because he doesn't have the benefit of wearing a Patriots jersey. He could have a game like that and lose, and then Drake May could put up a total of 154 yards and win in the snowstorm. That's that New England Satan magic right there.
Hey, that New England Satan magic is absolutely crazy, bro.
It's a shame. No, it is. It's a shame, but it's Matt Stafford had to play against real teams, so that's where that leads him.
I hope. I haven't heard any rumors, but I hope this is not it for Matthew Stafford. I don't think it will be, because he had a great season. That's more than likely going to end in MVP. His team was right there. They were right there. I know they had a couple of goof that they let up towards the end of the regular season, but like the Atlanta game for me comes to mind. Like, that was a goofy ass loss. Like, what the hell was that?
Right, the Panthers game too.
Yes, the Panthers game. But still one of the better defenses that you probably had out there.
By far his best season.
Yeah, his best season. Yeah,
and he won a Super Bowl, and this is his best season individually.
Yeah, he don't get a lot of defenses in his career. So that's why I'm more like, damn, man, my man threw 4 touchdowns and still things still didn't go his way. But yeah, man, kudos to the Seahawks, NFC champions, did the damn thing. With all that being said, man, he said now we got to hear Cardi B in the damn Super Bowl. That annoying whatever that shit sound. Just kind of give me your initial thoughts. Matchup wise, Rams. I don't know why I keep saying Rams. Seahawks and Patriots.
So the Seahawks should be the better team on both sides of the ball based off of what we've seen. It should be in a normal world. This would be a Seahawks win, and a fairly comfortable one at that.
He said in a normal world.
In a normal world, in the next 2 weeks, if we find out that tsunami hit Seattle and took out the Seattle defense or something like that, then maybe I'll reassess. But as of now, the Seahawks have a better offense and a better defense. They have what might be the best defense in the NFL. I mean, it's certainly top 3. And while on paper, May is the better quarterback because he's the one that's in the MVP conversations and all that. Sam Darnold's stat line didn't look that different from May's, right? Like they both had like a sub 70 completion percentage, which was like a big thing for Drake May. Darnold had more turnovers because of those like individual meltdown games, but May led the league in sacks by far. So, but did he lead the league? It's like he had an insane amount of sacks. I don't remember if it was the lead, but I think it was. So I mean, if you put them against each other, I don't think that they necessarily had like wildly different seasons compared to each other. And Darnold has now, with this game included, been better in the playoffs. So he should also have the better offense. And he certainly has the better weapons. I mean, he has what is likely to end up being the offensive player of the year as one of his weapons.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this should be a Seahawks win, unless something absolutely wild happens, which I can't put it past something absolutely wild happening.
Especially the way that the officiating has been going, bro.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my goodness.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I mean, if it he's entering the Patriots' house of black magic. as long as that doesn't, as long as nothing,
The house of black magic.
nothing bad happens to Seattle, no plane crashes or anything, like then Seattle should win this game.
That's crazy. No. Oh, black magic. Hey, man, look, end of the day, man, I just think my initial thoughts on this one. I'm with you on I do think my initial feelings was it should be a Seattle win. This is in a perfect normal world where there's no fuckery going on or anything crazy going on. I think Seattle's defense is another good defense that's going to give Drake May fits. And they also got the players that can almost like hybrid, like safety linebackers almost.
Yeah, like Nicky Manwari.
Oh my God. Okay, Drake May, you're not outrunning him.
Right. No, that's true. Like that secondary alone. I mean, you got Imanwari, you got Tariq Woolen, you got Devon Witherspoon, and then the other linebacker Ernest Jones. Like that's going to be a lot to deal with. And then on that defensive line, you got Leonard Williams and Byron Murphy, DeMarcus Lawrence. Like holding onto the ball is going to be a mistake, and throwing it's going to be a mistake.
Oh, DeMarcus Lawrence ain't playing. You don't think he's motivated to get a Super Bowl ring?
Oh, I'm sure.
Go back home to Dallas and talk his shit to Jerry.
Yeah, it's like just finally got up the Cowboys and got himself to a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Like imagine that. Like he's good.
Mm-hmm. That's what you got to do if you want to go to a Super Bowl. You leave Dallas.
Hey, yo, that's crazy, bro. That is crazy. You just wanted to throw that in there.
It's factual. It's historically factual.
No, that's factual, bro. You just wanted to throw that in there, bro. That is
I did.
crazy. But yeah, man. I think this has to be the Drake May best game of his life. His life. I'm talking about from high school to college to NFL. This needs to be the best game of his life to win this one. And Sam Darnold has already shown that he could go up and get some damn good defenses and still get his work off. So yeah, I'm favoring the Seahawks on this one for sure. But it's going to take some good coaching. And speaking of coaching, and then that coaching carousel, the seats are starting to fill up. It's getting interesting because I think obviously a couple of these teams are waiting to see what they can do
I don't think that I think for the last team since we talked about the teams to change coaches, I think the Titans getting Saleh and then now getting Dayball was one that we didn't talk about yet.
Yeah, and then the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, Buffalo Bills. Dolphins getting Halfley. So where do you want to start?
Well, I mean, we've already talked about Harbaugh. Halfley, I'm not too worried about.
Do you think Halfley? I just one quick thing with Halfley. Do you think that Halfley benefited a lot from the fact that he happened to get Micah Parsons in that defense? Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that that's a big reason why he was such a hot commodity for a head coaching position?
Yeah, because that defense looked damn near elite until Micah went down.
Right, and yeah, exactly. He the way that it looked before and after getting Micah.
Oh yeah,
we'll see. We'll see if Halfley was actually really part of it now that he's not going to have a Micah Parsons to work with.
It was two totally different defenses, like you said, the before and after.
Mm-hmm.
Like what they got before Micah was nowhere close to what they got after. Like,
yeah. So, yeah, I mean I guess we'll see how that ends up working with what's not as good of a roster to work with. But he's in charge of the Dolphins. I'm sorry, which other team did you want to go to, or we just listing the teams?
No, I mean, we're just kind of shooting the shit. Obviously Jeff Halfley gets I will say this. They do I did like the way that the Dolphins defense was looking towards the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
They was playing pretty solid, so we'll see what he does.
The former Dolphins head coach is now in LA as the offensive coordinator for the Chargers. I like that move.
I'm actually kind of upset about that.
Really? Oh, right, yeah.
I think because I think Mike McDaniel is actually a solid good play caller. A man that could put up 70 points in an NFL game for offense. I mean, is it fair to say he might have gotten the best out of Tua?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, no, and I think that he was never really meant to be a head coach long term, but he is not a bad play caller. He's a good play caller.
No.
And he's a very good offensive mind. I think putting him with Justin Herbert is great for Justin Herbert.
Oh my God, it's dangerous. That's why I'm not a fan of it.
Right. Fair enough.
Because if he got the best out of Tua, God knows what the hell he's about to unlock with Justin.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So as a division opponent, that scares the shit out of me. I'm like, oh shit.
Right. With already a good coaching staff in Jim Harbaugh, just got a pretty decent upgrade. My former head coach going to Tennessee now as their offensive coordinator to work under Robert Saleh.
Ooh. And this, I'm gonna be honest with you, Randy. This Salah Dayball has the potential to be a beautiful nightmare, or just absolutely just a complete just trash. And beautiful nightmare as if for his opponents, because it's a nightmare for them, but beautiful for the Titans. And it could be something great, because I think the play calling with Dayball could possibly elevate Cam Ward.
Yeah.
And I think what Salah does, as great as his defensive mind does, I think he can definitely elevate that Titans defense.
Yes.
So you get both sides of the football taken care of. And now, obviously, you got to worry about some special teams, but obviously your two factors of the game are the offense and defense, and I think they both got it covered. Here's where it can get messy. If Dayball does not hold up to his end of the bargain, I think it's more on Dayball, because I think Salah has already showed, even with the Jets, that I'm not going to get the offense, but I'm a damn sure have this defense right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my initial thoughts on that one.
I think that the problem there is not. I think that they're both good hires. I think that even though I was happy to replace Dayball with Harbaugh as a head coach, I do recognize that Dayball is good at working with quarterbacks. And I think that taking a young quarterback and putting him with someone like Dayball makes a ton of sense. I do think this is going to be a couple of year process, and I think that if Titans front office is going to need to be patient. If they don't get the results they want in year one, they have to acknowledge that it's probably not the coaching. It's probably because they still don't have a lot of talent on the team. I think that Cam Ward might end up having a very good year and it end up not mattering because the team is not overall very good. But I do think I agree that Salah can create a floor for the defense. You know, the 49ers defense wasn't very good without Bosa and Warner, but it could have been a lot worse. And it would have been if not for Salah and Shanahan. But I think it makes you could see the logic very well. You get a guy who knows how to unlock quarterbacks. You give him someone like Cam Ward, and then you give Salah, who's a floor raiser and who knows how to work a defense. So yeah, I think that it's gonna take a couple of years. They have to add more talent to that team, make some big moves in free agency, have a really good draft, and then
motherfuckers need a lot of talent.
Yeah.
But they got the money though.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
Yes.
A lot of money in the first overall, not first overall draft pick, but they got a high draft pick too. So, yeah, Titans, they can easily turn their direction around in 2 years if they play it right.
Yeah, and so they went that way. Jesse Minter for the Ravens, replacing John Harbaugh, my new hero. How do you feel about the Jesse Minter?
He fits here
for the Ravens.
Because if I'm correct, I think Jesse Minter actually had time with Baltimore before.
He did, yeah.
He fits their mode. A rugged defensive coordinator. So he's definitely gonna shape up the defense. He's gonna get the best out of him because he did well in LA with that defense. And so if you're just looking at the names that's studs that are on that defensive side, you got something. But I will say this: they don't get Matabike back. None of it matters. None of it.
They're gonna if they don't, they're gonna need to use defensive tackle as a pretty high
high priority because that neck injury was pretty serious and he didn't come back all season. And you saw what had happened with that defense with Matabike gone. I would say almost the equivalent of Ed Oliver when he was out with Buffalo Bills.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all good and dandy, but they got to get that situation squared away ASAP. Matter of fact, just go ahead and draft your D tackle, just because you don't know the actual recovery of coming from that neck injury.
Right.
That's pretty serious.
And then if Matabike comes back, then you have a good interior between the two of them, whoever you end up drafting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So I like that. It's not like an experienced locked in clear head coach. So we'll see how it ends up working out. The other team that's kind of always in that parallel with the Ravens, the Bills, fired Sean McDermott, elevated Joe Brady. What do you think of that?
That was damn. I think that was the only I just stepped out here now. I didn't say what I said about Keon Coleman. I didn't fire the coach. The pickings are slim right now for coach. You're about to go into a new stadium, and you're going in there with Joe fucking Brady.
Yeah, it's one of the because we can point to other ones. Even if I disagree with them, I can understand the logic behind taking coaches in certain cases. I do not understand what they're doing with this. And this kind of goes to the nothing can ever be Josh Allen's fault problem. Josh Allen's responsible for everything good, not for anything bad type situation.
Mm-hmm.
Sean McDermott gets fired because they don't make the Super Bowl. They don't make the Super Bowl because their quarterback has a bunch of turnovers. 4 turnovers, 3 of which were his fault. Not a coaching problem. They then elevate the offensive coordinator to head coach. And it's like, do you expect him to be a better head coach than Sean McDermott? He was working under Sean McDermott this whole time. Like, he might be a comparable head coach, but that's like best case scenario. And I don't really see what you're accomplishing if you're not bringing in, like, this is the kind of situation I think that if you're going to take in a new head coach, you have to take a swing for someone like a Harbaugh or maybe a Tomlin if he was to coach. If you're not going to do that, then just keep McDermott.
You know what? To be fair, Randy, I think the owner had an idea that, all right, I'm gonna probably get rid of McDermott, but to their own detriment, they were so deep into the playoff run, divisional round. Harbaugh's already off the board. I think they would have. I think they would have took a swing at Harbaugh if he was available.
Yeah,
because why not? Because here's my thing. As much as I've always been on the Sean McDermott, I've been on the Sean McDermott. He got to go the last 2-3 years just because I felt he hit a ceiling and just wasn't never going to break through, right? But the only problem is when you got a coach that has brought you some success and the amount of success he brought to Buffalo that they ain't seen in a minute, probably never seen. He might be the all-time winningest coach if I'm correct. You gotta hire somebody at his level or above it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they went down, in my opinion. I think this is a downgrade. This is when, as much as I was banging the drum of, get rid of McDermott because he's keeps hitting the glass ceiling, you might, because of the timing of when you fired him, you might have been better off to keep him because the pickings was going to be slim. Because look at the Steelers. Now you stuck with Mike McCarthy. That's your option. Like, what was Mike McCarthy going to elevate in Buffalo? Nothing. So if that was your best case to replace McDermott, like you said, you were probably better off keeping McDermott because you can't. If I'm a season ticket holder, you can't sell me on Joe Brady. I get the familiarity with him and Josh Allen. But what is he going to help to fix the defensive side? Because that's if we're really keeping up, I think that's what also got McDermott fired because he was a defensive coordinator or defensive minded coach, and his defense is always shit to bed in the playoffs. So it's like you got to find something that's going to fix what your main problem was. And I get this one was on Josh. All right, that one. This one was. This one for sure was on Josh. All right. And it's tough for him to go out. For all the other times it's been because of his defenses, and he's supposed to be the defensive coach. He never gets fired. But the first one time, it's Josh's. They get him up out of there.
Right. And this is why I think that teams need to ignore the media sometimes. And I don't think there always needs to be a sacrificial lamb if your team doesn't win the championship. I think that it's important to look at process and look at why you lost and address the actual problem of why you lost. In this case, it's because Josh Allen had a bunch of turnovers. And do you remember in week 1 of the season against the Ravens when Josh Allen threw that little, I think 5 or 10 yard pass to James Cook. Yeah, James Cook made it a huge play, and then the commentators were like, "That's all Josh Allen," right? Like that.
Holland's work.
That was the first time I really recognized that there was a serious problem with the way that everyone treats Josh Allen, because that was so obviously egregious. And even if you just don't look at it of the lens of
coming into the season, they already egregious with that shit, bro.
Yeah. If you can even if you don't want to look at it through the lens of James Cook essentially doing all the work and then his quarterback not getting all the credit, the Lamar Jackson comparisons, who always gets shit when he loses and Allen doesn't. Even if you don't want to look at it through that kind of lens, it's just objectively bad in terms of how you make adjustments for your team. In this case, yeah, they definitely do need a receiver. Keon Coleman didn't work. I think it's crazy that ownership was we didn't want Keon Coleman. while he's still on the team. That was funny as hell.
That's a bad man.
Yeah, but like you got to keep throwing darts at that board. But it's not like other than wide receiver. What is Josh Allen missing? He had the league leader in rushing yards. He has one of the best O lines consistently, and he has one of the best tight end groups. Like,
needs a defense. I'm being honest. He needs a defense, and yes,
the defense had its issues, but like it was also, and this number might be skewed by how bad of a rushing defense they were. They were also one of the best pass defenses in the NFL. They were the best at one point. That might be skewed by the fact that teams were running the ball against them so much, so the passing yardage looks better. But in this specific case, it was Josh Allen. It was they do need to fix the receiver issues. They do need to fix the run defense. That's all true. But also they need to control Josh Allen and keep him away from his worst instincts.
Yeah. Hey, you don't need to be Superman. Don't try to make plays every time. And he has to clean up those bonehead fumbles like the one he had before halftime. That was stupid. That was stupid. So that's him. So yeah, you gotta coach that out. But I got a problem. Why the fuck we gotta coach that out of a guy that's won the MVP? How? Why are we still coaching these easy fundamentals? And you're about to be 30 years old. You've been a starter your whole life in the NFL. You had all these playoff runs, and you still got to tell you to protect the damn football.
No, sir, and that's always been the thing with Josh Allen is he's like I made the comparison last week. He's a lot like Brett Favre in that he's super boom or bust. And when they brought him in as a raw prospect,
raw as hell.
Like, yeah, raw as hell, and he sucked in his first year and the early part of his second year, and then he ended up becoming good, and then he ended up becoming elite. And it's one of those things where if you're taking somebody who's super raw entirely off of their traits, very often it's not going to work. But if it does work, you're still going to have you're recognizing you're taking a quarterback whose biggest asset is his physical and not his mental. And you have to be the one to check their mental, right? Like, there's never been a question over Patrick Mahomes' mental game.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes' mental game was there the whole time.
Yeah.
You can just let him make the decisions. I don't think that Josh Allen can be entirely in charge of making his own decisions. The execution of a good call will be phenomenal a lot of the time because the insane arm strength, physical ability, running ability, all of that. But you need to rein in his worst instincts, and that is why when they lean on James Cook more, they tend to be better because it allows Josh Allen to be Superman when necessary, but not when not necessary.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing with Buffalo. But there's 3 jobs that are still open: Browns, Raiders, and the Cardinals, and
nobody wants that Browns job.
Nobody wants that.
I can't blame them.
Why? Why would you want that? Why would you want that job? Like, this
cursed ass franchise.
Not only some of the curses is their own doing. So that's why, as my coach, I'm like, I don't know if I even want to be involved with y'all because y'all gonna make some boneheaded decisions. Overrule me and do what y'all feel is best, but y'all hired me to coach the football, but I ain't gonna let me do it. So at least let me get my personnel I want. So I just think that Browns job is not desirable at all. I don't care how good Myles Garrett is; he's only one player.
Right, like the defense is good, but if the offense is going to be like this, and you don't necessarily have a way to fix it, then
with so much money allocated to your quarterback position, you still got not a clear-cut quarterback, even though, I would lean towards Shador, but
if anything, just because there's nobody better to fill that spot right now, unless you get lucky and maybe Ty Simpson falls into your lap and you like him, but if you put Ty Simpson in this offense with the worst offensive line and receiving core in the NFL, like he's gonna struggle too. Like
Same situation.
right. So everyone struggled in that offense. Joe Flacco showed that when he went to Cincinnati and balled out.
That Oakland, I keep calling it Oakland, that Raiders job, Las Vegas, they got a couple pieces, but they still got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Cardinals, you got a emerging star at tight end and Trey McBride. See what you can get with Marvin Harrison Jr., but I can't roll with Kyler Murray.
Yeah. I'm not necessarily surprised that these are the three teams that are still open because they are probably the three least desirable teams.
So undesirable.
I would say that the Raiders job might be the least undesirable of the three only because you have the first overall pick. You have to really believe in Mendoza, given that I don't know if you're going to be able to get him an offensive line that's functional. And then outside of that, you basically just have Brock Bowers and Max Crosby. And then you have some okay players at other positions, but it's basically your core is going to be Mendoza, Bowers, and Crosby. And you're going to be in what might be the most competitive division in the NFL next year with that as what you have to work with.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised, but who do you think these teams are going to be shooting for? Chris Shula is left. Clint Kubiak.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I think they're definitely gonna probably see some of these jobs get filled after the Super Bowl because they're gonna poach the shit out of Seattle.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be able to poach New England. One, because I think Josh McDaniels has kind of ran that coaching tree dry.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's looking at him and be like, that's head coaching material right there. Like he's in the job he's supposed to be in.
Yeah, and that's as far as it's gonna go for him. And how Robert Kraft is looking, how the Patriots are looking, I don't think he'll probably give some of those guys a quick little raise just to get them to stay. So I don't see the Patriots. They like consistency. They like continuity. That's what got them that dynasty the first time. So I think they're going to do all in their power to keep their staff, but they're about to poach the shit out of Seattle staff. So, so yeah, especially when guys get filled up there.
We should see Kubiak with one of those three jobs, probably.
Oh yeah. And if I was one to bet on, I would probably go Seattle just because familiarity within the division, kind of almost.
Wait, you mean Kubiak? Oh, you mean the Arizona?
Yeah, Arizona. You know,
yeah.
They seen them in Seattle. They're like, nah, we'd rather have you with us than against us. Almost like a Ben Johnson type situation, getting him in the division. So
that makes a lot of sense.
I put my money on that one. But speaking of coaches, man, I did not have this on my bingo card. It was leaked. It was dropped today. They said, yeah, Bill. Yeah, man. 6 Super Bowls as a head coach, New England, 2 as an assistant in New York. And yeah, we don't give a you had too many gates. We gonna make you wait, bro. I think that's what it was.
Okay. I think that they are putting in the true best head coach of all time. I think first ballot Tom Coughlin is what's happening now. The guy who beat that guy in 2 Super Bowls. It's just like, sorry, Bill, you should have beaten him in those 2 Super Bowls. Now you gotta wait. I think that's what's happening. I honestly, I apparently there is a report, and it might be a rumor. We don't know if it's true, but I forget. He's on the Colts. He's in the Colts. Had said like Bill's got to wait, and this was like a consistent rival of his. Do you think that maybe shows a problem with the voting process? The people they choose being involved in the league as much as they are, and not like outside media.
It's been a problem with the votes. This ain't new.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about it earlier on the other podcast. the fact that you know, and I'm not advocating for Bill Belichick, but I'm just, you know, and you might appreciate this as a person of the law. If anything that Bill ever did, all these gates, spy gate, deflate gate, whatever gate, if they were so horrendous, especially deflate gate when it happened when they ended up winning the Super Bowl at the end of those playoffs, if it was so egregious, why didn't they never strip the titles? Why didn't they never vacate wins? You got the power to do that.
Yeah. In the case of Spygate, I believe I don't remember if there were any years they did it outside of 2007, because if that was I know that was the year that they were caught doing it, and they didn't win the title that year. But Deflategate, I believe they did win the title that year. Yeah. And they could have, and I don't think that would have been egregious. Like, look, you know, you cheated, you don't deserve this. I think that would have been. I think we would live in a better world if they had done that. Personally, I think a world where Tom Brady has less Super Bowl rings is a better world. A world where Bill Belichick has less rings is a better world.
But and I dig the satire on that, but my main point is the NFL has always talked about, protect the shield, integrity this, integrity that. If it was so egregious what Bill Belichick and the Patriots did, then something should have been vacated. Not just the fines that they incurred, and shit. My thing is if you didn't punish him for that at that point, you can't turn around and try to get the go give me back because of the voting Hall of Fame. Because if you're just talking about Hall of Fame, the Hall of Fame is supposed to be just about production of what you did at your position.
Yes.
If you played quarterback, what you did. Running back,
they have murderers and rapists in the Hall of Fame right now.
We can go down the line of some characters in the Hall of Fame that they passed that have make Spygate, Deflategate, Watergate look like chump change. So I'm not. That's my point, Randy.
And if you want to separate those and be like, well, Bill Belichick's impropriety was football related and theirs wasn't, I think you can make that case, but like
that's fair.
It's even if you were to take those two away, like take 2 titles away from him, he has 4 championships as a head coach and then 2 as an assistant. Still, that's still already a Hall of Fame worthy.
Hall of Fame career, but that's still a weird time to draw the moral line.
Mm-hmm.
That's a weird time to draw the moral line, like because you're measuring, videotaping somebody's practices or some kind of crazy situation that is you got to question somebody's character. I'm like, oh, we're drawing the line there.
Mm-hmm.
So
do you so are you Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame defender then? Because I agree with that for sure.
How do you tell the history of baseball without Pete Rose?
Can't.
How do you tell the history of baseball without Barry Bonds?
Can't. And I think that's a good way to look at it, because I've kind of looked at the Hall of Fame similarly, in that I think because it is a little subjective when it comes into like who deserves it versus who. And I think that the way that I kind of think about it is you're telling the history of the sport.
History. Bingo. Right there, Randy. Because when these Hall of Fames are built, Cooperstown, New York for baseball, Springfield, Mass, I think for the NBA or Basketball Hall of Fame, Canton, Ohio for the NFL. These are museums to tell a story. Museums are built to tell a history, tell a story of something in particular. That's what all museums are across the world are for, is to tell a history of that. And this is the story of the NFL. This is the story of MLB, story of basketball. There's certain people that you just can't tell that story without them. It's impossible. Mm-hmm. And I get it. Belichick he's not a favorable guy. A lot of people is going to question him character-wise, whatever. I get it. But if you're talking about the story of football And when it comes to coaching, you're hard pressed to put too many names above Bill Belichick. What you can say, Vince Lombardi, maybe.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's hard.
Bill Walsh.
Yeah.
Oh. But I mean, like, yeah, you're going at the top of the top right there. Then
you're shooting straight at the top when Bill Belichick name gets mentioned. That's it. I mean, 6. I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm.
You can dislike the guy, but you can't front on what the guy did as a coach.
Right. And there's always, especially in Bill's case, always the question of like, was Bill the driving force behind those rings, or was Tom? And like, I think that that's a worthwhile question to ask. But when it comes to the Hall of Fame, I think that it's less about how quote unquote good you were, and more about what you did, what footprint you put in the NFL. So even if you want to say that Brady was the driving force behind those rings, which I don't think I agree with, but it looked that way because Brady won one without him and Belichick became a shell. I think that I don't think that it matters. Like, Belichick had a bigger footprint in the NFL than any other head coach ever.
Yeah.
Regardless of how he did or why he did or whatever he did. And he had a huge tree of followers. I mean, like, the head coach and offensive coordinator of the Patriots now are from Belichick's tree.
Yeah. I was like, huh?
I don't know, but I'm happy that he's out, even though it's wrong, even though it's objectively wrong. I'm still thrilled about it.
Nah, no doubt. Hey,
who do you think is who do you think is going to get in now? I mean, I still think Breeze and Fitzgerald are locks. Belichick was my third lock, and that's not happening now.
But because I remember when we had that conversation, I was like, Belichick's a lock. Like, come on.
Uh-huh.
And now that's off the board, that's kind of crazy now.
And this is another reason why, and excuse my Giants bias a bit, because I was able to be objective with Belichick and say he should have been, and even though I'm glad he's not. You can't still tell the story of the NFL without Eli Manning.
Now, Eli's getting in. It's up to the voters, and here's the thing about the voting. Because I know they got executives and VPs and journalists and writers who've been covering the sport for a long time, but they do some voting. And look, in no disrespect to none of those individuals, I just feel like it's like when I hear conversations of, like, even when Deion Sanders goes, when they do the Hall of Fame luncheons, and you look at around in the room, he's like, I played against you. How are you in here in the Hall of Fame? I just think that, like, the actual individuals who are in the Hall of Fame, who are players and coaches, who have either played or coached or against these individuals, they should be the ones that should be casting these votes.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. Because it's like, if I competed against you, whether coaching or played against you, I know what you're about. I know if you're a dog or not. I know you're a Hall of Fame caliber. Because if we're being honest, the Hall of Fame caliber should be elite. Should be exclusive. Very exclusive. Because is like you said, it's about telling the story of your sport. And, Cliff Notes don't tell the stories.
No, it's true. And I mean, that's, to me, always been the biggest difference between, like, regardless of what anyone wants to say about, like, stats or whatever, like, the reality is you can't tell the truth. You can't tell the story of the NFL without Eli Manning. You absolutely can tell the story of the NFL without Phillip Rivers. And there's not even, like, a shot, but, like, it's just, I think people think about the Hall of Fame in the wrong way a lot of the times, because they'll be like, oh, but, like, was he actually that good? Well, he was that impactful. He was about as impactful as almost any quarterback ever. Even if he didn't have an MVP or, like, all of these things, or, it didn't have the best efficiency stats or whatever. Like, so few players had the impact on the NFL that he did. And like that's kind of the line in a lot of cases.
Hey, I'll put it to you like this, and some people might not like what I'm about to say. 2 playoff runs that Eli did that end up in Super Bowls are Hall of Fame worthy, whether they like it or not. Stats regardless, they don't care, because what's working in his favor is those 2 playoff runs in his last name, so he's getting in. It's just whether he's first ballot or not, and also almost to a sense of not necessarily stats, but impact. Julian Edelman at some point is going to get in because what he's done playoff wise.
Yeah. And that's a good point, right? Because like I think there are a lot of receivers that are better than Julian Edelman that aren't going to be Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. But the runs that he was putting together with Tom for those 3 Super Bowls, he was doing some crazy work in those playoffs and numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, same thing. Gronk's going to get in off his impact, and he's going to almost have like the Terrell Davis effect, where such an impact in a short amount of time because of injury. So
right, you have your Terrell Davises, you have Gale Sayers, and you have Earl Campbell, like these players that didn't play for long but had big impacts. So if those guys are going to be in, then your criteria has to be like at least to some degree consistent.
That Patriots franchise is going to put in more Hall of Famers than expected.
Yeah, and it's going to be entirely because they won. Even though the players that were on the team, there were a lot of players individually that wouldn't have won in other franchises.
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Willie McGinnis is already in.
Yep. Vinatieri is going to get in, and there are not a lot of kickers that are in the Hall of Fame, but he's got to get in.
Even Steven Gostkowski is going to get in probably too, because he was fairly accurate in clutch. I'm just making y'all aware, football fans, is going to happen. It's going to happen.
Okay. We talked when we had this conversation last time about who we thought from the class should get in. If we're agreeing with Breeze, Fitz, and Manning, then I mean Suggs is still waiting, and there's a good chance he gets in. I think
let's wait.
You think they're gonna make him wait again? I mean, I could see it. It's a lot of competition for that other spot. Witten, I think might end up being.
I think if now that Belichick's not getting it, I think Witten might grab that spot. Because if you look at Witten's stats, as at the tight end position, definitely Hall of Fame career worthy.
Yeah. Most receptions ever by a tight end, and he's like 2 or 3 in every other tight end category. I mean, I'm drawing a blank. I had said his name last time. Oh wow, this is gonna bother me. Greatest show on turf receiver.
Oh yeah, Torrey Holt.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't think you can tell the story of the NFL without the greatest show on turf guys.
Yeah, and if Isaac Bruce is already in, they just put him in recently within the last 2-3 years. I think you got to put Torrey Holt in there because he's the other part of that equation.
Yeah, and that's why I had said, because you pushed back on it a lot, but I had said Earl Thomas for the last spot that I could give someone. Now that Belichick's not going to be in, I guess I have another one. But yeah, I mean, you can't tell the story of the NFL without the Legion of Boom.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I think it's fair to say, like, maybe there are players that are available that are better than Holt or Thomas. Not many, because they are still all-time greats for sure at their positions. But
don't be surprised if Jared Allen gets in there.
Yeah, he's another one that could for sure.
Obviously, I'm looking at some of the offensive line in Marshall Yonda, Willie Anderson, Jari Evans. I think at some point they'll get in. I don't know if it's in this class.
I I think they want to start appreciating offensive linemen more. I think that's why
Yeah,
the Sector of the Year thing got announced, and they've been talking more about offensive linemen. I think they might, as a statement, pick one of them.
and if that's the case, then I will go with Marshall Yonder.
Okay, that's fair.
I would, because he was a lot on that Baltimore line for like, had Joe Flacco looking like a fucking goddamn MVP all the time. So
Yeah, true.
yeah, yeah, man. It's going to be interesting when it comes down to this Hall of Fame when they finally they announced that during Super Bowl weekend. There's a lot that's going down Super Bowl weekend. Obviously, awards going to get dropped.
And I think let's talk about the awards, and then that could be how we close the show. Unless you have anything else you want to talk about.
Real quick.
Yeah, sure.
NFL. Why did y'all do that with Shador? I'm so irritated with that. I get you want the viewership, and with Shador there comes viewership naturally, I think. But not like this. Because now you're making a mockery of the Pro Bowl. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I think it's already been mocked enough and hasn't been important for a while. But this was like blatant, like total disrespect to the Pro Bowl, and I hate that you put Shador in this spot, because like to the players, the Pro Bowl still kind of means something because it looks good on your resume, and it definitely looks good on your resume when it comes to negotiating contracts. You don't turn it down.
No, and I don't blame Shador at all. It's not about Shador. The problem is that it's fan voted, and he is popular. He is somebody that generates a lot of attention and a lot of clicks. People either strongly love him or strongly hate him.
Yeah.
And he was, I think, 10th in voting. So I'm not sure how he became an alternate. I heard a rumor that Trev was supposed to be in this spot, and then Trev turned it down for some reason. That I don't get why that would happen. So that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. But I don't know. Like, there's 5 spots normally. The fact that if he was 10th, even if one guy said no for some reason, I don't know how you get to Shador. It may have just been the NFL picking him.
It has to be, because this is crazy, bro.
Yeah, and then you're just setting him up like the people who hate
him get to get even more, and Randy, that's the exact reason why I'm not a fan of this, because it's not anything that Shador has done. It's the fact that the NFL is going to continue to put him in a situation to make it look like it's his fault that he asked for this. He didn't ask for this. I'm with you. This is just another thing to give the haters of Shador just another pointless reason to hate on him.
Right. And I mean, we talked about like some of the other weird decisions that happen as a result of how it gets voted. I mean, Joe Walt was one of them, even though he only played 6 games this year. I'm looking at the list now.
Again, man.
Yeah, there's Devin Lloyd was only an alternate, even though he was arguably the best linebacker.
Yeah.
The way that they even did this, like outside linebacker, TJ Watt and Nick Bonito were in the same category as Devin Lloyd, which doesn't make any sense. Ernest Jones also missed out. Jamel Dean, because none of those guys are big names, but like they produced enough where they should have been an inclusion. My man Andrew Thomas missing out, but Trent Williams, who had a worse pass rush win rate than him because he's a bigger name, he makes it.
Hey, Crafty Southpaw, that's what we're trying to figure out. Because we just had the whole like I thought I'd never see a day that a quarterback with 5 games under his belt makes a Pro Bowl. In the same breath, a head coach has won 6 Super Bowls as a head coach, 2 as an assistant. can't become a first ballot Hall of Fame.
It's crazy. Yeah, no, and that's you just can't have something like this especially if it's going to be attached to players' contracts. It can't be decided by fans who don't know what they're talking about. Like Trent Williams allowed 4 sacks this year. Andrew Thomas, I think, only allowed 1. And Trent Williams is not only in the Pro Bowl, and Andrew Thomas isn't. Yeah, 1 sack from Andrew Thomas. It's like Trent Williams also might win Protector of the Year as like a lifetime achievement award. And I get it. I love Trent Williams. Trent Williams is phenomenal. But it just kind of goes to, like, if you look at all the Pro Bowlers, they're all relatively big names.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at their production compared to smaller names, there were a decent amount of snubs there. And if you look at the All-Pros, which are more accurate, which the media picks, those don't have the same impact on contracts, even though they are a better representation of who actually deserved it. I don't think those were perfect either, but they were certainly closer.
Hey, remember, we got no All-Pro MVP last year. So
Right, exactly.
look,
Yeah, so not always, but
no, but it just speaks. It's just another example of speaking to the fact that they got to fix the system when it comes to the actual voting of stuff that matters. I think you can make the Pro Bowl matter again if you actually put the players in that deserve it to be praised of a great regular season. And for the love of God, get back to playing football in the Pro Bowl. Like,
yeah, I mean, if you have the media vote for it, you might as well just make the All-Pro and Pro Bowl one thing instead of having them be two completely separate things. And then, have them play.
So fucking obstacle course flag football shit.
You could have them play for home field for whoever gets home field in the Super Bowl. I think I've seen that floated around. I think it makes as much sense as any other proposal.
I remember when they used to do it for baseball, and they said the All-Star game, winner wins the home field advantage in the World Series. It didn't matter because if you knew that your team was had a good chance to make it to the World Series, man, you want that home field advantage, man. So it has to play ball, man. Hey, do what y'all gotta do to, and
like you could also have that be part of the Pro Bowl contract. Is like if you also win the Pro Bowl game, like you get an additional boost of some sort. You know, like there are ways you could incentivize it. But hold on, just give me 1 second. You can segue into the awards.
And the NFL has the resources to make this Pro Bowl matter again, and I think it's simplified the shit. Obviously, incentivize it. Amended in contract talks. Obviously, let's have the conversation when it comes to the money, because the players need to, they need to be compensated for a good regular season. I know there's certain markers and certain players' contracts and stuff. So, but there's nothing wrong with more incentives. It's their job. What happens at my job or other people's jobs, if you incentivize some shit, I'm more than likely going to give you my best output, because I know there's a reward that's worth getting at the end of that good work. So
yeah, exactly. You want good results, you gotta incentivize.
That's just basic business 101. Like, you're gonna have to incentivize your workers, because they're still employees, and so it's their job. But go ahead.
Let's go into these awards so we can wrap everything up. So we talked about MVP to start. We both agree on Stafford.
Yeah.
Do you also agree that the choices of MVP, this was a fairly weak MVP year, and it's kind of reflected in who the 5 finalists are?
I don't even think they should even win 5 finalists. They should have just I mean, I get probably they got to give you 5, but I don't even think it was even that deep to go 5.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like Trevor Lawrence had one awesome month. I don't even know if he necessarily is more deserving off that month than Justin Herbert was, and he wasn't made a finalist. Josh Allen. I mean, I get like he had about as good a year for a quarterback outside of the top 2, maybe, but with the random Falcons loss, Dolphins loss, Patriots loss, like I mean, like, granted, like Matt Stafford had his weird losses too, so that can't be the only thing, but this was not a great Josh Allen year. So like he was kind of just pushed up because like he's Josh Allen and there wasn't any quarterback more deserving. I like that CMC was an inclusion. I think you could argue that of any non-quarterback to be the most important to their team, it was CMC for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
But he's not going to win over Stafford or May. So,
No.
yeah, I mean, it is a pretty weak MVP year. But I mean, we both already laid out the reasons we think Stafford. I think your reasons are the same as mine. Just balled the hell out. Had the best offense in the NFL, and he led it beautifully against the third hardest schedule in the NFL. Nobody played the quarterback position better than Stafford this year, in my opinion.
And 4,700 passing yards, 36 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. Absolutely batshit crazy, bro.
Yeah, he was, I believe, the leader in yards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. Like, just the numbers speak for themselves. Offensive Player of the Year finalists. So we have.
Well, to me, it's only 2.
Okay, that's interesting because I feel like it's actually pretty competitive. First of all, they shoved Drake May in there, which pisses me off because
That's corny.
Yeah, like, are you going to give it to Drake May just because you're giving the MVP to Matt Stafford? Like, that's corny as hell. Like, don't screw the non-quarterbacks by shoving the losing quarterback into it. I hate that. But, okay. So, JSN, Puka Nacua, Bijan Robinson, Christian McCaffrey, and then Drake May are the finalists. I'm surprised James Cook wasn't one of them. If anyone was going to get that 5th spot, I would think the rushing yards leader would have get it. He did have his fumble problems, but I mean, he was really a driving force on that Bills team that won so much.
Okay, so if let's say we go with that theory that they're going to exclude James Cook for fumbles, turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
There should be a quarterback on the same team that should be excluded for MVP conversation. And we're talking about turnovers.
Yep. Exactly. Right. Like, so. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, I think that James Cook deserved to be at least one of the 5. CMC was probably the most individually valuable for their team. I think you could argue that Bijan technically was a better player, though.
Yeah.
Even if marginally. They both were incredible in that they both led in rushing and receiving as much as they did.
That's true.
But then you have the 2 receivers.
And I'm fine with just these 2 in these conversation right here. That's just me.
Okay.
Because obviously I'm with putting CMC in the MVP conversation because I rate down the word valuable in the MVP conversation.
Yes, me too.
So I'm cool with having him in that conversation, and I would give him some votes. He'll get some. But when it comes to Offensive Player of the Year, Sam Darnold had the best year of his career. Followed it up with an even better year this year.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody had to catch that football.
No, that's true. And one stat that somebody pointed out to me recently that I didn't even know was He has about 1,200 yards more than the second receiver on the Seahawks. That's how much of a workload he took on. Which is that's insane.
And he made it look easy.
He did. So
He made it
I
look
think
easy.
if JSN wins the award, I will not be unhappy at all. It's not that the playoffs should matter, but he is also in the Super Bowl on top of everything.
But I also can't get mad if Puka walks away with it.
I would. And my reason why is that, and the reason, honestly, I don't know if I even would have had him in the top 5 despite how great he was. And the reason why I say that is because despite how great he was, what is the argument for putting him over JSN? JSN has more yards. He played one more game. They have the same amount of touchdowns. JSN has a better yards per catch. He was basically did everything. I mean, there are things that you could point to, I guess, for Puka. Puka had 2 less fumbles. He had a little more yak, but those aren't things that normally are the difference makers there. Like, JSN had more yards in less receptions. He had more yards and less targets. So I think that, and people forgot about him entirely because of how the season ended up going, but Jonathan Taylor should have had one of these 5 spots. He was on a historic run for the first half of the season, and people don't care now because of how it ended.
Well, because I'm not going to be. Look, I'm not the greatest English major or English teacher of English. I'm terrible. I've been in Kansas City and North Carolina for all my life, so I'm country hood. All right, I ain't the person that you come for English tips. You said it was, and that's past it. That shit started good because look, mid-season, Jonathan Stewart easily could have walked away with MVP votes. But once they said, "Oh man, y'all lost your quarterback. Y'all don't know what y'all gonna do." Oh shit, man! Throw 8 in this box, man. Oh, is boom or bust with Jonathan? Hey, wait, y'all bringing in Grandpa Pop Phillip Rivers? Oh yeah, we definitely stacking the box. So all that getting off for Jonathan Stewart came to a mother halt.
But I mean, is that his fault though? I mean, he still ended up with 18 touchdowns. He was still, even despite the way the season ended, he led the entire league in touchdowns.
Yeah, but a lot of that work was all before that injury at his quarterback position.
But is that something he should be docked for? Like, realistically, even when Daniel Jones was there, he was still the driving force behind them winning.
Of course he was. Of course he was. And
I think he should have been in the 5. Even despite how it ended, because it's not like the second half of the season inherently matters more than the first half, in my opinion. I think it's part of the season. They're looking at the entire season beginning to end. It's 1 of 18. Every game is 1 of 18 games to measure. And not many people, certainly not 5 more people, had a better beginning to end than Jonathan Taylor. I think
all right,
justify Puka winning over JSN. There's no reason to have him in it. And then Jonathan Taylor has a very solid case still for being a finalist. That's me.
So I raise your Jonathan Taylor, and I give you Derrick Henry.
Yeah, he's another one for sure.
I mean, if you look at their seasons, obviously Jonathan started off hot, fizzled towards the end. It was pretty much in reverse for Derrick. Started off kind of slow, heated up towards the end. Pretty much was a driving force that kind of got them to even sniffing the playoffs.
Yeah, no, that is for sure. I agree with that too. I think that you could have made a solid case for Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry also having his fumbling problems like James Cook at the beginning, but he did clean that up. Speak also to Jonathan Taylor's point, only one fumble all year, despite the 18 touchdowns. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think you could make a good case to Derrick Henry. I think, and this is why I say it's such a competitive year. Jahmyr Gibbs had a phenomenal season. He had some of the best games I've ever seen a running back had. He had like a couple of them that were like all-time great running back games.
Yeah.
And he's not even like he doesn't have a case for being a top 5 finalist despite having that phenomenal of a season. That's how competitive this was.
I think it's crazy because I think Jahmyr Gibbs, his all-purpose, I'll take that all day.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he's basically giving me Christian McCaffrey with a melanated swagger.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the big plays, like you give him the ball like from almost anywhere, and like he's a home run threat immediately.
Yes.
Like a familiar Lions running back that home run threat at any point. Not saying he's as good, but like if you include the fact that he's also a receiving back, he could eventually get there one day.
Hey, the moment I see when they roll him out, when they start him in the backfield and they put him in motion, and I'm like, first thing I see is I'm like, all right, is it zone or man? Okay, man, cool. Who's on Jahmyr Gibbs? If you put that damn linebacker or that safety out there, that's that ass.
Mm-hmm.
Just letting you know right now, he's about to angle route and he's about to take it right up the middle. And Jared Goff just had the easiest touchdown of all game. If it's zone, you might be able to control him, but you better make sure that you got your people in playing a zone right, because you can use him as a good decoy because Jameson Williams is still a problem.
Yes,
he's still a cheat code.
Mm-hmm.
Amon-Ra St. Brown is starting to turn himself into one of those receivers that, hey, more times than not, he's about to make a play.
He's an elite receiver in his own right, and he had a great year when it came to touchdowns, and he doesn't have a case to be in the top 5. That's how Jamar Chase had a phenomenal year, and he's not a finalist. Like damn good year for receivers and for running backs this year.
They needed it.
Yes, they needed it for sure.
For the running back,
who is your winner? Your winner is JSN, though.
Yes, my winner is JSN. I just think he makes it look so effortlessly, but I wouldn't be mad if it went Puka. I got Puka in there just because I don't think his numbers are that far off from JSN. I think you're splitting hairs, and my goodness, the guy's a dog. He plays with like a linebacker mentality. I love that. He's more physical for his, and it's crazy for how his stature. He's not a big guy. But he throws his body to the wolves. I think he needs to start changing that style up because that won't give him longevity in this league.
Mm-hmm.
So he better enjoy these Offensive Player of the Year finalists as he can, because he's already kind of shown that he can get a little nicked up pretty easily before in recent years. So I think he needs to switch up his style. I'm not saying, I'm just saying if you want to play for 10, 11 years, Puka, that's all I'm saying. So
for sure. And also, like, to give him his flowers, some of the craziest one-handed catches of the year, some of the craziest plays did come from him. Like, even if his production isn't quite at JSN's level, like just the sheer catches he was able to make.
Yeah, but why?
Like JSN also was.
Yeah, but why JSN made that one-handed catch look so easy, dog?
Dude, so easy. Like, that was insane. And then, like, it was at the sideline too.
Like, what? What you own, bro? Like, this is crazy. Hey.
Yeah, no, phenomenal shit from both of them. But
JSN is so good. They said, "Hey, DK, man, you get the fuck up out of here, bro. We good on you, bro."
I feel like I've talked myself into, like, there are there are enough ways you could look at it that Puka deserves to be in the top 5. So I will retract that part of my claim. But honestly, even despite that, I think my winner might be CMC because he was more important to his team. I don't think he's going to win, but he was more important to his team than any of them.
No, I don't hate that.
Like the fact that he's the only one of them that's in the MVP discussion too.
Exactly.
I think that kind of would give it away.
Oh yeah, because it's like, oh well, we're gonna put you in the category. You're not gonna win it. We'll give you offense. You can settle with offense. Yeah. Oh no, I'm with you.
All right. So, and speaking of not having an argument, aside from one guy, defensive player of the year.
I mean, you can list off the finalists, but I think there's no concept.
Yeah, Myles Garrett, Will Anderson Jr., Nick Bonito, Aiden Hutchinson, Micah Parsons, and somehow not Brian Burns. Crazy. Nasty work. Brian Burns absolutely should have been here over either Hutchinson or Parsons. That's nasty work to me. As great as a year as they both had, too.
Okay,
Burns had the second most. He had 16 and a half sacks.
Yeah.
More tackles for loss, more pass deflections, more how does that happen?
Randy,
I'm so mad. So mad. But
Randy, I hear you.
They just don't like the Giants, and like that's what always happens.
Randy, you did a very phenomenal job with pleading your case.
Yes.
That was phenomenal, and you're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, come on, Randy. Does it really matter?
I mean, it doesn't because none of them have a chance of winning anyway. If you want to say that is true.
Come on, Randy. Like, defensive player of the year was a lot the moment he got that record.
Yes.
It was a lot. And matter of fact, it probably was a lot in him on the way to chasing it down. So it was gonna be tough to get your name to leapfrog Myles Garrett. All right. So I mean, I get it. You're absolutely right. Brian Burns had a hell of a season. And but you're playing for second place.
That's true.
They don't give you a trophy for second place in defensive player of the year voting.
No, that's true. So I mean, yeah, Myles Garrett wins. We can save some time on that discussion. Offensive rookie of the year is the next one, and we have Teteroa McMillan. We have Jackson Dart, my quarterback. We have Emeka Egbuka, Travion Henderson, and Tyler Shuck. Now, first, what do you think of the choices of the 5?
I don't hate none of them. Man, that's tough.
For me, you're probably going to be surprised, I guess, over who I think the winner is. No, like you actually will be. I don't think it's Jackson Dart, but my problem I think with this is there's kind of an issue with everybody except for the guy that I think should win it. And okay, there are 2 people who are the obvious front 2, and then Jackson Dart. As great as I think he was the best rookie quarterback of any of the rookie quarterbacks. He set a record for 5 consecutive games with a rushing touchdown. He had 24 total touchdowns. He balled out without Malik Neighbors there. He had to throw to little Jordan Humphrey, and he beat the Eagles after doing that. So with all of that being said, he didn't play in that many games. I think he only played 10. How many games did Jackson Dart play? He played 10 games. Dart games played. The only rookie quarterback. Yeah, okay, so 9 games with 7 starts. So I think it's okay only because I don't know who else. There are people you could have put in the spot. I don't know if they were more impactful than he was, even in the fact that he only played them, started the 7 games. Yeah, because like the other 2 that make that 9 were when he came in for like a cup, like 1 drive. So he's really played 7 games seriously.
Yeah.
So that's my only. As much as I love that he's there, and I'll take it. I do guess I question that basis for it. I'm actually surprised any of the rookie quarterbacks were in because Cam Ward led what was the worst team in the NFL. So, like, despite it not being all his fault, you're not going to get in on that. And then Tyler Shuck also, he played only the second half of the year.
Yeah.
And he beat a couple of teams, but they were all bottom feeding teams.
Yeah. But he definitely had the offense looking a lot different than what it was under Spencer Rattler.
That's true. Like, yeah, I don't think he played well, for sure. It's just a weak offensive rookie year. Tyler Warren not being in it, I guess, is a question. If you could, for the same reasons with the whole Jonathan Taylor thing, phenomenal first half, weak second half.
Same with him. He had it on lock, and then it just went
right. And is that on him? Well, his quarterback fell apart. Like that was the case for both of them.
True.
And then Browns tight end.
Oh, Harold Fannin.
I think you could have made a case for him potentially getting one of the top 5 spots, especially considering the offense he had to work with, and he still made it work, more so than Warren did. You could say you could potentially have included either Luther Burden or Colston Loveland, although their workload was a little egalitarian, maybe for either of them to get it. And then Travion Henderson's another one. Travion Henderson was also not used through any of the first half of the season. He barely got any carries behind Ramondre Stevenson while Stevenson was fumbling the ball and they weren't ready to give it to Henderson. Then Henderson finally got it. He was still splitting a ton of carries with Stevenson. I get that he had high yardage in a short amount of time, but like, to me, this is really like a 2-player race, and I think Tedero McMillan is the clear winner.
Yeah, I think so too. Because the fact that he, despite the record, still made it to the playoffs with the kind of, a mixed bag of performances from Bryce Young in that offensive line. And when they protected him, he was able to get, play pretty well. Things broke down. Sometimes he'll come up with a play. Sometimes he'll come up with a bonehead Bryce Young turnover. And you're like, what the f you doing, bro? So
yeah, and he really had that offense looking totally different. Like just like what we said about Sam Darnold and JSN, like that McMillan did that for Bryce Young as well.
Oh, absolutely. He was Bryce Young's stabilizer, and he's their clear cut number 1.
Yeah. So I think that he's offensive rookie of the year. I thought the choices for defensive rookie of the year, however, were perfect. They were exactly the 5 I would have chosen. We have Carson Schwessinger, James Pierce Jr., Xavier Watts, Abdul Carter, and Nicky Manwari. And I know that Carson Schwessinger is the favorite, and I know that I will be accused of being a homer for saying this, but I just dismissed the idea of Jackson Dart winning it, so I think I am allowed one. Abdul Carter led the entire NFL in quick pressures under 2.5 seconds. He had a top 6 or 7 pass rush win rate, led all rookies in quarterback hits. He had 4 sacks by the end of the year, which isn't phenomenal, but not many rookies were above him. Yeah, I mean, like he was a pressure machine the whole year. I think that Abdul Carter, and he played two different positions. He played edge and linebacker for the Giants. I think that Abdul Carter should win. I don't think that he will. I think part of the reason he won't will is anti-Giants bias. I think also part of the reason he won't win is because of him getting sat for the beginning of 2 games, which is stupid and not important. But okay, so what do you think? What do you think of all this?
If we're going based off of impact, I got to go with my man from Seattle. Because now I'm looking at a guy that, is making me question if Kyle Hamilton is the best safety in the game.
Okay, that's a tall task. I mean, he was phenomenal. I don't necessarily. I'm not pushing back on that.
Give my man 2 or 3 more years with McDonald under this system. And I know there's going to be some pieces that they're going to interchange because I think if they definitely win the Super Bowl, D-Law probably hangs it up. And he's definitely 32, 33. He ain't got too much more left, anyways.
Yeah.
I got no problem with James Pierce because I've always loved the fact that you always made it a point to point out how that pass rush was definitely necessary in Atlanta. But like what they're doing in Seattle, they're really giving LOB vibes, and he's a huge part of it.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, he also played multiple positions. He played safety,
positions, hybrid. That's what I absolutely love hybrid safety linebackers that can actually cover and can still knock the shit out of you, and he's doing now all of that.
Yep. For sure.
So that would be my vote.
Okay. All right. I think that is fair and defensible. Let's look at Coach of the Year.
Look, you go ahead, ramble off the finals. But for me, I was 100% Liam Cohen until Kyle Shanahan literally took his team to the divisional round.
Yes. Yeah, I will also. Mine for spoilers is also Kyle Shanahan. All right, so let me. All right, so
that's crazy, bro. What he just did this season.
Yeah, so Liam Cohen, Ben Johnson, Mike McDonald, Kyle Shanahan, Mike Vrabel. I don't think there's really a huge surprise there. I think all 5 of them deserve it.
Yes.
I think all 5 of them have actually fairly similar cases.
Yes.
And the only one that I would have potentially included, because I don't think that he got his fair, I think that he was screwed last year. I think Sean Payton arguably should have been one of these 5, maybe in competition with McDonald, although that looks, now that McDonald's in the Super Bowl, which isn't supposed to count, but it does add to people's stock for him. Sean Payton took what was expected to be the worst roster of last year and turned it into one of the best rosters. He elevated everybody on that team, including Bo Nix. I think that there is a strong case that Sean Payton, it's usually, Coach of the Year is usually correlated with having a roster that nobody expected anything from and then having them succeed past. Sean Payton did that last year, and so he's not being credited for it this year.
Yeah.
I think that you can make a strong case that Sean Payton may have deserved to be one of these 5, but I don't have a problem with any of these 5. No. Kyle Shanahan is also mine because he took a team with CMC and a dream to the playoffs.
Yeah.
1 game away from the 1 seed even.
No,
and that's crazy. And he's been, I think, the best coach in the NFL, at the very least the second best coach for years. And he hasn't ever won it because Coach of the Year doesn't usually directly connect to who actually is the best coach. It's the one that lifted up their team the most in any particular year.
True.
But Kyle Shanahan, I think, is the second best coach, at least in the NFL. And he does deserve this. And there's probably not going to be a better opportunity to give him one than this, because his teams normally shouldn't be this injured.
No.
Even if they deal with that pretty commonly, but not to this degree.
This man, Kyle Shanahan, has been dealing with the injury-riddled San Francisco 49ers team ever since he took the job. I mean, literally. The injuries everywhere. And more times than not, key players. A lot of injuries to his quarterback position. His should-be Hall of Fame tight end can never stay healthy. He even has a Hall of Fame left tackle that's starting to miss games. I mean,
been missing games for a little bit now. Couple seasons.
Yeah, you're right.
I.O.W got himself off of the team.
Look, I it's just, for me, I just think just the fact that he even got them to that point. And of course, the other shoe was going to have to drop eventually. The Cinderella story was going to have to come to an end, and Seattle was a deciding factor in that for sure. But Ben Johnson, like you said, a great candidate. What he did turn around, and that, look, like you said, he can make a case. And just for me, even Liam Cohen, like I said, I had him winning the damn thing. For him to be a rookie head coach, took a trash Jacksonville team that was 4-13 and turned around and next year 13-4, win the division, and literally was probably a couple of plays away from beating Josh Allen. That's nothing to sneeze at.
Not at all.
But he didn't have to deal with what Kyle had to deal with, and if we're talking, we always talk about context. Go look at that IR sheet. It's cats up and down IR sheet, and all of them are damn near all of them is important players to that roster.
Yeah. No, and we both made pretty good guesses at the beginning of the season, because you picked Liam Cohen. I picked Ben Johnson as my prediction for Coach of the Year, and he ended up being a deserving finalist.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I mean, I would love for it to be him, just for me to have gotten that right. But now it's gotta be Shanahan. I mean, like Caleb Williams, like, yeah, Ben Johnson had to refine him to get him to the point that he's at, but he already had the talent. Mac Jones, just a potentially deserving comeback player, although he wasn't nominated, because of Shanahan, with not much help outside of CMC around him. So,
not much at all.
Yeah. All right. So we agree on that. Let's look at the next one. Assistant Coach of the Year. Interesting. So Vic Fangio, Brian Flores, Vance Joseph, Clint Kubiak, Josh McDaniels. Honestly, if you give it to almost any of them, I can't really argue. Yeah. I think they're probably going to give it to someone whose team made the playoffs.
Yeah. More than like
Vance Joseph, just like Sean Payton, didn't get the deserved credit last year, so maybe he does deserve it this year for elevating a team with the only expected star in Pat Surtain, turning everybody else into a star. Clint Kubiak making Sam Darnold work as well as he did, proving that KOC probably didn't deserve it last year. Josh McDaniels' development of Drake May. I think you could give it to any of them. I honestly am not even sure who I would pick for it.
Shit, for shits and giggles. Hey, for shits and giggles, give me Brian Flores.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can't argue. I think you could argue in a vacuum he is the best defensive coordinator in the NFL.
Get him cats a quarterback. Minnesota looks a lot different this year.
True. That's very true. It's not his fault they didn't make the playoffs. Okay, comeback player of the year.
This is just a Finagle award. I don't even know how you even the criteria.
Yeah. So Stephon Diggs, Aiden Hutchinson, Trevor Lawrence, CMC, Dak Prescott. I mean, it's 3 injured guys, four injured guys, and 1 guy that used to suck.
Oh Lord.
I would go CMC because I think he had the best year of any of these 5.
CMC and Stephon Diggs are on the damn comeback player of the year.
Okay, so you would say CMC or Stephon Diggs?
No, I'm just like I'm so torn up inside on how the hell you come with the criteria to come and play it here.
Yeah, no, it's true. My way of doing it is just which one of them was the best this year in relation to what they were last year. And I mean, 4 of them just weren't on the field last year. So,
oh man, I guess you gotta come back from retirement, literally die on the field.
Right, the guy who died on the field didn't win comeback. Joe Flacco had a good 6 games for the Browns.
Hey, your 6 games trumps dying on the field. Just so you know that.
So funny. Coming back from the Jets is worse than coming back from death.
Hey, if that's the case, Sam Darnold should be right here, comeback player of the year. That man had to come back from it. He got the whole redemption story going. I don't know. I don't even know how you.
I think he won last year, didn't he?
Oh, that what it was? Okay.
Yeah. Let me come back. 2025.
Yeah, couldn't have a repeat. I guess. I don't know. Again.
Oh no. See him. Wait, no, that can't be. Hold on. 2024 to 25. I think Sam Darnold won it. Joe Burrow won it. Okay. So that, which also makes sense, I guess, because of the injury.
Coming off an injury. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, so I mean,
I guess that. I don't know. I don't even care anymore. Okay. I'm just so confused on how to come up with this damn thing.
All right, fair enough. Well, I would pick CMC for it. And the last one, Protector of the Year, and the options for that are. Did they announce that one? They better have. The year.
Yeah, they're gonna record that one. I know you said Trent Williams is on there.
I think, yeah, he was. Penei Sewell was also on there. Garrett Bowles. Who are the last 2? Finalist 2020. Chotuni and who's the last one? I don't know. We'll start with those 4 while I look for the 5th one. Do you have any? Are you leaning any particular way for any of these?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of leaning towards Joe Tooney. It might be the bias here, because he's a former Chief. But I mean, let's look at the proof that of his presence on that O-line when it comes to Chicago. Him being an all-pro left guard that he is, and then you even saw in the playoffs they had to implement him on the outside like the Chiefs did. They had to put him at tackle, and he learned from his mistakes of happening in that Super Bowl last year that he did not have that same performance this year when they had to move him out the left tackle. So
yeah, okay. So I think the finalists weren't finalists announced. Those are 4 of the ones that are expected to be favorites.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is weird. Like, apparently there's a whole controversy thing around that. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, Joe Tooney has a strong case. I guess the only argument against him is he also had Darnell Wright. He also had Drew Dahlman. He also had he had other really good players playing really well on the line with him.
True.
I don't disagree with giving it to him. I'd be totally happy with him getting it, especially if you want to do that lifetime achievement before he retires thing. But for someone who had the numbers this year to warrant it, Joe Thuney makes sense. You could also say the same thing about Garrett Bowles, who had phenomenal numbers, but he also has Quinn Miners on that line with him. You know, like the whole offensive line is stacked too. Penei Sewell, same thing. Like Trent Williams is the most on-off split offensive lineman you could say, but he has the weakest numbers of those four.
Yeah.
Let's look at pass rush win rate really quick. And run blocking rate. I think let's see who has the best one.
Yeah.
Darnell Wright has a higher one than any of them. I think you can make a strong case for Darnell Wright.
Okay.
The one with the most is the one with the highest. The two with the highest are Dion Dawkins and Roger Rosengarten. But when I looked at their numbers originally, I think Dion Dawkins gave up like 6 sacks. So I think that might be a problem for him winning this thing. Andrew Thomas with a 94% pass block win rate, 8th in the NFL.
Yeah.
You know, no, we talked about his on-off splits. If they give it to Joe Thuney, I'm fine with that. It's a very close battle. I think that Joe Thuney had these. Oh, you know who is another one that I think should have been mentioned? Creed Humphrey.
Yeah. Best center in the game.
Best center in the game. Not many other positions have a clear best in the NFL the way that center does.
Hey.
If it was him, I would not think that.
No.
And he has the only 2 players with a 98% or higher pass block win rate are Creed Humphrey and Joe Thuney. So I think honestly, if I'm giving it to anyone, I might be giving it to Creed Humphrey. Just because the gap between him and the next guy is bigger than anyone else.
It's like massive.
Yeah. So, but Joe, you know, you could say Joe Thuney just for the transformational effect that he had for his line, even if he did have help with it. But yeah, I don't have a strong answer, but I think any of those guys would be solid.
Dig that. Yeah, man. I think that wraps it up, man.
Yeah.
As always, man, appreciate you. Crafty Southpaw, appreciate you jumping in the comments. He said Diggs had best comeback in my opinion, but the NFL may not want to hand him any awards due to his current legal situation.
True.
Hey, you might be on to something right there. Might be on to something. Hey, he got to clean that up. But
For sure.
Appreciate everybody. Hey, man, we're going to get up out of here, man. Y'all know what it is. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Hit that bell notification. Let you know when we go live. If you need them audio needs, y'all know who to tap in with. Hey, tap in with my man Randy Weber, Panther on Acid on Instagram, IG, for all you folks out there. And then top it up with me, Casey Walker Mar on the Twitter, and then of course I.O.W Sports Network on all social media platforms. But you know what it is. Until the next time, hey, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. We out here. Peace.
Yeah. Solid Hill TDS, what's up? Yeah, come on. I.O.W Sports Network, late night edition. Let's go. Come on.
We about to raise the bar. Wild card mark. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Por Modelo, let's cigar. Man, you don't wanna superstar.